Good morning. Today is the last day of 2024, 31st of December 2024, and I'm just going to go over my watch list and levels for today. It's going to be a short day for me today. I'm literally going to hang around for about an hour or so, maybe less, may not even trade. Expect volume to be very light today as well, so I wouldn't expect a very decent or volatile day. Okay, so looking at news for today, see what could move the market. We've got minor news at 9 o'clock just come out, and then we do have 10:30 news, but nothing really today. So nothing really that could move the market from now on. So let's go into the ES on the hourly time frame. In fact, there we go, the hourly time frame, and we can see. Quite interesting to see this actually. Let's just mark it out. So we had this big sell-off on FOMC, and then we had a bit of a pullback, and we had decline in volume on that pullback, which is what we want to see. And then we broke down, didn't quite come and do a retest. You could say that was the break and retest there maybe. And then we pulled down, and it's starting to put in a bit of a downtrend. And then one of the levels I was watching for yesterday, in fact I took the break and retest yesterday off pre-market low, which did okay. I managed to scalp out a little bit of a 1R out of that, and then it was always going to be a scalping day. Today's going to be a scalping day purely because of the volume, even though we did have more volume come in. One thing to note is the red days, we talked about this previously as well, the red days generally have more volume than the green days. You can see green days here reducing volume, 2 red days, big volume, so there's obviously a lot of sellers, strong sellers around. So I took the break and retest of pre-market low yesterday and did okay, just took a little tiny scalp 1R, but we were watching this level. It's still marked up as well. If you recall from yesterday's 59.83 area, I'm looking for the retest of that zone. I wasn't around in the afternoon, but it got to that zone and rejected it perfectly, and hopefully someone took that trade as well. Today, comments from hello Charles, Happy New Year to you. Hopefully you've had a great 2024, and I think we're going to have an even better 2025. So just keep up the discipline and keep up the risk management, and I think 2025 is going to be a good year. In fact, I should do a end of year recap. I might do a video in the next few days at my end of year recap. It's been a bit of a strange year. I've been changing strategies around, and it's not until the last 6 to 8 months I've really stuck to one strategy, and that's where I've seen the big differences. Rather than me chasing different strategies and different setups, literally sticking to 1 or 2 stocks or 1 or 2 tickers. ES, basically the ones you see here, and I only really trade the top ES, sometimes NQ, occasionally these ones, and I've been trading Bitcoin. So that's been my biggest change this year. And yeah, I agree with you, Charles. Here's to amazing 2025. It will be a great year. So anyway, let's crack on. I'll keep this video short today because there's really not much to talk about. So that level's gone from yesterday. However, I'm still watching for the break and retest of pre-market high into that overhead yesterday high level, and also we've got the curving 50 moving average. So we're below the 50, we're below the 200 on the hourly. I'll check the daily in a second. So we could signify that we're in a downtrend, so we can probably have more favouring of the shorts than we do longs, but we're play each day as it comes. So let's look, see where the volume is. Okay, so yeah, there's only a couple levels I like. I like the bounce down at pre-market low area, this area here, 59.50. If we do break down through it, come back up and retest it. I quite like the break and retest of pre-market low as well. And we've got this zone here, yesterday's low, this area, so 59, let's just get a more accurate level. 59.20, I'm going to mark that up at 59.26, 59.30 down to 59.18. So that's an area to watch for a bounce just here. You can see a big reaction to that yesterday. We've also got this region here as well. We can potentially watch this region for a rejection. despite the fact that I said I like the breakaway test of pre-market high, that's a higher risk that's going against the trade, the trend I meant. You can see the downtrend is here. We could also watch this area for rejection as well, but also like the pre-market low, if it holds it, then we can watch for a rejection. If it breaks through, comes back and retests, look for a long, but I'll scalp the long because it's against the trend. And I think that's it really, there's nothing really more. Otherwise, if we do get up here, I do quite like this zone here, 6010. 6,000 is a psychological number. So basically if we poke up through 6,010, then we can look for a potential rejection there as well. And I think that's it really. Basically the key area is this pre-market low today, watching for a bounce. What's the volume doing around there? There's a little bit of volume here as well. You could say a little bit of confluence up around that area. I'm only going it based on a previous, basically it's a pre-market low and it's a previous area it's been holding. But again, there's not a great deal of volume there. A little bit of volume shelf there. If we lose that area, then notice the decline in volume over here. And we could potentially watch this area, but this is the main area I'll be watching for a bounce if we do get down there. Let's just zoom out a bit. Is there anything else in that area? There's a little bit of confluence here. And as I say, I'm looking at tops of pivots, bottoms of pivots, bottoms of pivots. So that's an area. That's why I like that area more. Yesterday's low. You can see it came into that region. And I would have marked that out even without that there. In fact, we had it marked up anyway. 59.26. So that's the area I was watching over the last few days. So let's keep an eye on that area there for another bounce. Again, these levels are not bad. They're pretty spot on. That was spot on as well. You know, when I say spot on, sometimes it pokes through, comes back down, but I treat them as zones. Got this zone here. Got this zone here. And again up here we've got that zone there. Not even going to consider anything up here because we're too far away. We may get there today, but I doubt it. I think that's it. Let's look at order flow quickly. I don't think there's much going on, too much of order flow. Yesterday was a massive divergence. And we could see that the I did do a screenshot of it. Let me just do a screenshot and then maybe just refer back to your charts yesterday. Just open up a screenshot. So I took this yesterday because this is a, in fact I did an article yesterday as well on my website. TV Trader, I'll put a link to it in the comments. Oh, I definitely did an article, but I can't see it listed. I'll have a look in them. I'll put a link below anyway. But it was about order flow. Give me 2 seconds, I'll just find it. And I basically describe all the different scenarios what this could mean. Give me 1 second. I'm just logging into the website. I'm not sure why it's not. It should be on the live page, on the main page. Maybe it's set as draft. Cumulative delta divergence. Here we go. So let me just open up the main page. So that's the screenshot there, and I just basically discussed what it's about. So yesterday we saw absorption by strong sellers, so we had strong selling coming in and it was being absorbed, and then we saw that bounce. So you know, we were in that downtrend, it kept continuing the downtrend, and then eventually divergence is a reversal signal. So price down, down, could be a signal impending reversal. If it's near a level of support, and where did it get to yesterday? It was at a level we marked out as well, 59.26. And then I wrote down it looked for confirmation price and its potential reversal. And I also did one. This is the election day, cumulative delta. I don't know if you ever noticed that, but it was in line with what we expect to see, and then we saw this. I saw price starting to increase. Divergence was selling, was getting more and more sellers coming into the market, and then suddenly we saw this reversal here, and then the price just took off. It happens to be over that level as well. So if you drew the levels in about there, you could have found a longer break and retested that level, and you would have continued to ride the trend. So it's quite important. I'll leave a link to this. It's pbtrader.co.uk, cumulative delta divergence. I'll put a link in the comments, and I want to write more articles as well. Let me put that in the comments now. So there's a link there. I'm not sure why it's not coming up on the home page, but I'll check that out. But basically that's what we were seeing yesterday. We were seeing absorption, and then eventually it turned into a reversal. But we're not seeing much right now. The price is moving exactly how we expect it to move. And volume today, let's just go back to the main screen and look at the daily. And what I normally do, just see how the volume is, I normally compare the volume, the first hourly candle with today with the first hourly candle of yesterday, just to see it all in a few days. So here you can clearly see that big green move up with decline in volume, and then just push down with increase in volume. So that's showing strength by the sellers. So at the moment we have strong selling, and if you notice, the red candles are bigger than the green candles, so definitely have some. Well, that's a big red day anyway, but if you go back, that's a small red candle there. So small red candle, it's even smaller than the previous green candles. So definitely saw, we talked about this, I said there's potentially, we're looking at a reversal up here. It's showing a bit of sign of weakness from the buyers. And was that beginning of December we were talking about that when we saw this coming in. It did exactly that. And there's also one pattern I can see now, one of my favourite patterns. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. And a few days ago I drew that pattern in when we were just forming the head, and we're putting in this right shoulder. So potentially we could see a right shoulder form. And there we go, and there we have it. And we've got our neckline. It's a region. You could say that this area here, but you could also use this area here as a neckline. So this region here could be our, oh, I lost my pen. This area here, if we come down, come back up into that region, we can watch for a rejection. So that's something we can watch as maybe a swing trade. Okay, so let's just quickly move on to the other stocks. Times we've got quarter of an hour. Close some of these windows down. Okay, so looking at SPY. So you can see decreasing volume as the price is increasing. That's an anomaly there, divergence. And then we had a big red candle. And then what was that yesterday, Monday? Smaller green candle, but an indecision day. So even though it's a green candle, we had a slight, almost a green day. You know, you don't know how much that was selling. Let's go into the hourly, pick up the levels. Look at that. We had that level pretty much spot on as well. Not only did I have that level there, we had this zone I've had marked up for some time now. It came straight into that zone. That was yesterday. So today's levels, I quite like the bounce at pre-market low. There's a little bit of a volume shelf over here, so just keep an eye on that area, maybe for the bounce. Otherwise, we lose pre-market low, break and retest down into yesterday's low. We can watch this area for a bounce again, a little double bottom, or if we lose that area, break and retest. And there's a bit of a void to the left. If we do lose that area, we haven't got much volume until we get down into this region here. So potentially this could be a bounce area down here as well. And that's pretty much it for SPY, similar to ES. SPX levels. Oh, look at that. Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at the hourly. Yeah, the hourly. That's yesterday. Look at that level there. I had that marked out as well. Beautiful level, bounced directly on that level, 58.70. I've not added any levels for a long time on here. We've got this region here, which it rejected. A little bit out on that level there, so potentially I could move it up to about here. Does that coincide anything over here? No, just mainly the newer levels. Yeah, just keep an eye on these levels. Basically, if we're coming into a level and we're looking for a short, I was short pre-market low yesterday, and I saw that we were coming into this level here, so that's why I scalped out as well, because I don't want to be short when we're coming into a potential bounce area on the SPX. And the same, if I'm long and I'm coming into an area here, then I'll be looking to maybe scalp out most of the move and just hold a little tiny bit. And that's what I did here. I took out 50%, and then I trailed out on the 5-minute chart on the other 50%, which I'm glad I did. I had a little bit of FOMO at first, because I trailed out a little bit earlier than I wanted. So it pushed down, and then it did a massive big rejection, so it's a good out in the end. NQ, you can see this downtrend. You could probably say it starts from there. Make the fan smaller there. So showing it's getting steeper means we're getting more momentum in the selling. You can extend that, sorry, I should have, oh, that's supposed to be a straight line. Again, this is a key area here. We had a pivot there, pivots here, pivot there as well. We kind of broke through it, retested it, was this floor, became the ceiling. Now potentially it's the floor. So we're a little bit in between pre-market high and pre-market low. So same as before. If we can break through pre-market high, it's going to be a scalp into yesterday's high, which is a rejection area. If we lose pre-market low, then we can hold into this yesterday's low area, and then maybe watch break and retest of that area. Could be an add, and for continuation down into this zone here, 29.19, and then obviously we've got, and I think that's it really. Yeah, keep it really simple. QQQ. Again, one continuous downtrend, break and retest of pre-market lows. My one I'm watching for, a higher probability one. And then we've got the bounce down at yesterday's low area. We do have a volume shelf here. That's at pre-market low, so we can also watch that area for a bounce as well, same as ES. And then break and retest of pre-market high into yesterday's high as a scalp. And then we've got a rejection area, and we've got this big area up here we can watch for rejection as well at 521. So I'll leave those levels in place, I'm not going to touch them. A little bit out yesterday on that one. Let's have a look, see why I had that one there. Okay, just big volume shelf, that's why I had it. Big area of confluence, a break and retest, a retest. I'll keep it there, it's a zone, not an actual line. So I'm still watching, this is a volume shelf there. Still watching this area for a bounce. Oil is now breaking out. You could say we've got this pattern here. We've broken out, we've come back, we've retested, and then we've pushed up. And we've got this daily or weekly trend line as well. So let's look at closer levels. So we're where are we now? Oh, we've already bounced. I was just about to say, this is what I said yesterday as well. watch this area. In fact, I drew it out yesterday as well. Top of that candle, all the way down to the tops of these candles. Watch this area for a bounce, and look where we bounced, exactly in that area. So this is somewhere where you should just leave limit orders in place for if we get down there, and put some sort of OCR in, like a stop automatically, because oil always seems to activate before the US market opens, usually during European, UK hours. I know you're probably saying, why don't you trade it? But I generally try not to look at charts in the morning. I just want to start looking at charts when it's after 2 or 1:30 p.m. is when I start looking. But maybe New Year. One of my goals actually for the next 6 months, I don't do New Year's resolutions, because if you break it, then what do you do? Wait until next New Year? I do weekly and daily and monthly goals. Basically, I do New Year resolution every month. And so one of my goals is to look at the UK market more. That's why I've listed on it. I do keep an eye on it. I've not traded it yet, a couple of times, but I'm trying to learn their personalities, UK and the German market, that is. It's learning how they work. So, you know, I mainly focus on ES, so I know that the best, I know how it responds, and I need to do the same for the UK as well. And the UK, and that means if I can see trades, I can start trading 8 AM this my time, which is 3 PM in the US, or 3 AM in the US, and I could even have my trading day over by the time you get out of bed in the USA. So oil, the bounce is already gone. This is the area I would have been watching for. So break and retest of pre-market high, going with the current trend into that 72 area. Otherwise, we can watch this area again for maybe a double bottom. If we break through that area, we can watch for the break and retest short. Gold, we could be looking at a head and shoulders pattern, and we've broken the neckline, come back up and retested. So keep an eye on this area. Maybe the break and retest of pre-market low on gold to continue this downtrend. We've got a few target areas here, yesterday's low and the previous day's low as well. Otherwise, we've got this area as a rejection, 2660. RTY, which is the Russell 2000. So we've got this double bottom. If we can get over this area here, we could be seeing a bit of a change of trend, but we need to get above this 200. So at the moment we're not above it, so let's look something high probability. Got a volume shelf just there as well. Where's that? Yesterday's high. So here you go. So here's a good play for today. Here's a break and retest of yesterday's high. We probably already done that already there. We broke out, retested it. Also the pre-market high as well. If we can get over that pivot from yesterday and come back and retest it, we can watch for the long, potentially into this trend line, which is 200 moving average. And then if we lose pre-market low, break and retest short down into these bottom low levels again. And this area is on watch for a bounce at 22.17. And then YM, which is the Dow Jones, looks almost the same, that chart. Again, every day I look at this, I just love this downtrend. It's a perfect lower high, lower low, lower high. So if we break pre-market low, 42.891, break and retest low, we can watch for a bounce down at yesterday's low area and put in that double bottom. So I was a little bit out on that level. Why was that? Oh, so looking at previous pivot. So I like to have weightings on the closer pivot. So I'll just move that up a bit. A little bit of a volume shelf, but we're coming into this point of control now. This is where all the volume is on the Dow Jones. We broke through, we held it, then we held it again, we broke, kind of rejected it, and then we came back, retested it, broke through, rejected it. Are we going to reject it now, or are we going to hold it? That's where we are right now. So if we break and retest of the pre-market high, let's watch for a break and retest long. It's going to be hard. We are still in this downtrend, and we are below the 50 and the 200 moving average. So we do need to really get over that, maybe something like that, out. Otherwise, just watch for the break and retest of pre-market low for a bounce in this region. And then finally, Bitcoin, how's that doing? Did it break yesterday? No, it didn't. So we're holding this level pretty well. So we're trading all the way in between this zone, these two zones here. In fact, we can probably create, and we've got, that's kind of where we're holding, that's where the most touches or pivots are. So while we're in here, I don't think there's much to do. You might want to play the bounces, sell the rips into those areas. You know, just play some sort of range. That's not how I do my trading. We have broken this downtrend though, so potentially a break and retest of yesterday's high and pre-market high. Let's zoom in. Let's draw the trend line in. So this is a trend line there, just a rough. You could also draw that trend line in there. There we go, that's a better trend line. So we've broken it now. We're going to come back and retest this area, and for continuation, only time will tell. Otherwise we lose this area, which is 91, 92 area, 92,000. Then we can look for the break and retest short. And that's it. There's nothing for me there. I'm not looking to play Bitcoin until we get back down into these regions if we can, or if we break out of this region. You could also argue, if we go onto the daily, you could argue and say that we're looking at a head and shoulders pattern. That's the left shoulder. We're looking at the head. That's the right shoulder. We just now need to break down, come back up and retest. And if we do, then I'll be looking for a short, maybe on an ETF like iBit or something. I only buy Bitcoin long. My broker only lets me buy them. I can't short sell Bitcoin. Probably can on another broker, but I use my Revolut account to buy into Bitcoin, more of an investment, not short-term swing. So that's what I'm looking to buy when we get down here. But you can find some Bitcoin stocks and maybe find one where you can day trade. I think there's some futures Bitcoin as well, BFF possibly. Might be something to look into as well. And I think that's it. Market opens in 1 minute, so I will leave it here. Wish you a very happy new year and a happy 2025. I will be back next year. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit the like button, and if you're staying around, I'll be in the other stream, the order flow stream, which is also on the same channel. And I think that's it. Okay, thank you for watching and happy new year.